This is the GoreTV podcast with your hosts Jill Valentine and Sebastian Castellanos. Let's get into the show.
Ever get that, creeping sense of dread? You know, the one that usually hits right around the time you're trying to navigate a mobbed grocery store at dinner time?
Oh, absolutely. That slight panic in the cereal aisle, wondering if you'll actually escape with your sanity intact.
Exactly. Turns out we might be onto something with that whole grocery shopping as a low-key horror experience feeling. Today, we're diving deep into this oddly relatable concept with, well, a little help from GoreTV.
Always a good time. Their latest article takes this idea and, well, they kind of run with it.
Yeah, they went full-on survival horror movie with it, reframing the whole grocery store experience as, well, a fight for survival.
Which, let's be honest, some days it really does feel that way, doesn't it?
Right. So picture this. You're walking through those automatic doors, bracing yourself for, well, the usual grocery store chaos. Only this time, instead of being greeted by, soft lighting or whatever, you're hit with the full force of the Fluorescent Abyss, as they so aptly put it.
See, I love that they call it that because it plays on this, deeply unsettling thing about grocery stores. It's not the darkness that gets you, it's the brightness. You're completely exposed under those, unforgiving fluorescent lights.
It's true. I never really thought about it that way, but it is kind of creepy how bright everything is. You catch your reflection in the freezer aisle glass, and it's like you're looking at a sleep-deprived ghost of yourself.
Totally. It's like that primal instinct to hide, to seek out shadows. The grocery store completely flips that. It's all about, maximum exposure.
And then, don't even get me started on the layout. Those aisles. Pure chaos. I swear they rearrange them every time I go in there.
It's the maze of madness. No, seriously, that's what GoreTV calls it, and it's so accurate. It's like those old-school survival horror games where they intentionally make the level design super confusing. You're wandering around, totally lost, second-guessing every turn.
Oh, and the cereal aisle. Forget about it. It's like a horror show down there with those off-brand mascots. Those creepy grins are burned into my brain.
Right. It's all part of the plan, I'm telling you.
Right.
Messing with our heads and our wallets while they're at it.
Right. But it gets even better, because you're not alone in this fluorescent-lit nightmare. You've got the other shoppers to contend with.
Ah, yes, the horrors of other shoppers, as the article so eloquently puts it. They really nailed that one.
It's like they crawled right into my brain and cataloged every awkward grocery store encounter I've ever had. You've got your aisle blockers, your slow walkers, your parents who weaponize their toddlers. It's a whole thing.
And they totally nail that feeling of, social anxiety that you get in those situations. It's like that feeling of being watched, judged even. Is that person judging my grocery choices? Are they going to fight me for the last bag of organic kale?
Oh, and don't even get me started on the frozen food aisles, like a free-for-all down there.
Yeah.
Shopping carts become battering rams. Everyone's bundled up in their winter gear, desperately searching for the Ben & Jerry's.
The frozen aisle torture. It's a real thing.
It's like stepping into another dimension. Time slows down, the air gets all thin and icy. You can practically hear the freezer burn whispering your name.
And then there's that moment, when you're reaching for that last pint of ice cream in the back.
And your hand is about to fall off from frostbite.
Exactly. It's those little moments of decision-making under pressure. That's what makes grocery shopping so harrowing.
It's all fun and games until you have to decide between your dignity and a pint of chunky monkey. But it's even scarier than the frozen food aisle.
Oh, don't tell me. The checkout line.
You know it. The final boss battle, as GoreTV calls it. The line of doom. Seriously, they weren't kidding with that one. I mean, we've all been there, right? That slow, agonizing crawl to the cashier.
It really is the perfect culmination of the entire grocery shopping experience, isn't it? You're drained. You're probably a little bit on edge from navigating the crowds. And then you hit that final test of endurance. The checkout line.
And it doesn't help that they strategically surround you with, every temptation known to man. Candy, magazines filled with nonsense. It's like they know you're at your weakest point.
Oh, absolutely. It's psychological warfare at its finest.
And just when you think you've survived it all, you slide your card and nothing. Silence.
The dreaded declined card. Beep. Yeah, it's like a punch to the gut every time.
Game over, man. All those groceries, all that hard work. For nothing.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All the little anxieties, the frustrations, it all comes down to that one moment of truth at the card reader. Makes you realize that even in the grocery store, There's no such thing as a sure thing.
Okay, so maybe we're being a little dramatic, but that's kind of the brilliance of this whole GoreTV take on it. They take something so normal, so everyday, and turn it into this hilarious, slightly terrifying commentary on, like, the human condition.
Exactly. And sometimes, isn't that the best way to deal with the absurdity of it all?
Yeah.
Find the humor in the mundane, in the stressful, even in the downright weird.
Totally. So, next time you're bravely battling your way through those grocery aisles, just remember, you're not just shopping, you're surviving. You've got this.
You are a warrior.
Exactly. This has been great. What's your, big takeaway from all of this?
I think, for me, it's just a good reminder that we can find humor in the most unexpected places.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need to shift your perspective a little bit, you know, embrace the absurdity of it all.
Totally. And listeners, we want to hear from you. What mundane activity in your life could be reframed as a survival horror experience? Let us know.